People have been scanning the surface of a Scottish lake for centuries in search of the Loch Ness Monster.
For nearly a century, blurry photographs and shaky videos have fueled the legend of the Loch Ness Monster. Recently, one man's camera has produced something that may change everything. He didn't just capture another ripple in the waves or a shadow playing tricks in the mist.
Do you think there's a monster in these waters?
Oh, it's not a case of I think there is. I know there is. Personal experience.
His photographs are unusually sharp and unsettling, leaving experts with more questions than answers. When analysts zoomed in, the images revealed details that demanded closer study, and they stirred both excitement and fear. Could this finally be the long-awaited proof of the Loch Ness Monster, or are these terrifying images just another chapter in a mystery that refuses to die? Let's find out. A legend through the ages. The tale of the Loch Ness Monster is not new. It is older than photography, older than newspapers, and older than much of recorded Scottish history. The first known account comes from the 6th century, when St. Columba reportedly confronted a water beast in the River Ness, banishing it in the name of God. That single story planted the seed of a legend that would grow across centuries, whispered from one generation to the next, until it became part of Highland folklore. By the 20th century, Nessie was no longer just a local tale. It had become a global sensation. Reports of sightings multiplied. In 1933, the Spicers described a strange creature with a large body and a long neck crossing a road near the loch. A year later, Arthur Grant sketched what he claimed was a plesiosaur-like animal after nearly colliding with it on his motorcycle. These stories, paired with photographs like the infamous 1934 surgeon's photo, cemented an image in the public mind. A vast, shadowy creature with a serpentine neck rising from the black waters of Loch Ness. What makes the loch itself so perfect for mystery is its geography. Stretching more than 22 miles long and plunging to depths of nearly 800 feet, its waters are dark and almost opaque due to heavy peat runoff. Beneath the surface, sheer trenches twist unseen, creating a labyrinth where anything could hide. Add Scotland's famously unpredictable weather, sudden fog, wind-driven ripples, and shifting light, and the loch becomes a stage set for optical illusions. And perhaps something more. Even now, Nessie remains alive in public imagination. According to the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register, over 1,000 reports have been logged, with new accounts surfacing every year. In January 2025, for example, a visitor at Doress Beach described seeing a massive dark shape moving under unusually calm waters. Staff at the Loch Ness Centre called it captivating and difficult to dismiss. That sighting reignited global attention and set the stage for what came later that same year. The man behind the camera! Every legendary Nessie sighting has a witness at its heart. This time, it wasn't a professional monster hunter or thrill-seeking tourist. It was an ordinary man on a casual trip to the Highlands, armed only with a camera and no particular interest in myths. He wasn't looking for evidence. He wasn't chasing a headline. But on that day, the loch decided to give him something extraordinary. The man was standing near Doress Beach, a shoreline known among hopeful Nessie spotters. That morning, the waters were unusually still. Locals know this is rare. Gusts of wind and passing boats normally keep the surface restless. But on this day, the loch was glassy, reflective, almost unnervingly calm. Perfect conditions for noticing anything unusual. Then it happened. Just a few meters from the waterline, the man saw a ripple different from the rest, stronger, more deliberate, as though something large was moving beneath. At first, it could have been dismissed as a log or a fish, but the ripple grew, forming a distinct line. Instinctively, he raised his camera and snapped photo after photo. Seconds later, the disturbance vanished, leaving only widening rings on the loch's surface. Only later, reviewing his camera, did he realize what he had caught. These were not the blurry, distant smudges that usually define Nessie sightings. These were sharp, close range, and captured under rare, perfect light. They revealed shapes, textures, and shadows that defied easy explanation. The clearest images ever taken. The photographs stunned experts and enthusiasts alike. Taken in rapid sequence, they showed a distinct dark mass breaking the surface. In one frame, a curved rise resembled the arched back, or long body so often described in eyewitness reports. In another, a narrow upright form seemed to cut forward, eerily similar to the neck that has haunted sketches since the 1930s. What made the images extraordinary was not only their sharpness, but also the circumstances. The natural lighting was even and clear. The water was perfectly calm, its mirror-like surface highlighting the disturbance with unusual clarity. And most importantly, the photographs were taken at close range, not across the vast stretch of water where distance often deceives. Reviewers noted how closely the shapes matched historic accounts. The smooth, dark sheen recalled descriptions from witnesses like Greta Finley in the 1950s, who described Nessie's skin as shiny and snail-like. Ripples aligned behind the main shape, suggesting something large and heavy pushing forward. When shared online, the images exploded across the internet. Headlines proclaimed the clearest Loch Ness Monster images ever taken. Social media erupted. Believers saw undeniable proof. Skeptics demanded explanations: seal, sturgeon, log, boat wake. But even they admitted the photos were far harder to dismiss than the usual blurry evidence. Shockwaves around the world. Within hours, the images went viral. News outlets from Scotland to the US and Japan ran the story. Hashtags trended. Arguments raged. To some, this was proof at last. To others, it was the cleverest illusion yet. But what pushed the story into darker territory was what analysts discovered when they zoomed in. Closer inspection revealed unsettling details. One image showed a surface unnaturally smooth, reflecting light in a way that didn't resemble fish scales or wood. Another revealed a sharp ridge at the front, suggestive of a fin, hump, or even neck. Most disturbing were faint shadows trailing beneath the main disturbance, hinting at something massive hidden just below. For cryptozoologists, the zoomed images echoed decades of reports: curved humps, elongated forms, vast bodies moving silently in the loch. For skeptics, they raised the spectre of pareidolia, the human tendency to find meaning in patterns. Yet even skeptics admitted that these photos were clearer than anything before. The science of scrutiny. As excitement spread, scientists moved in. Forensic imaging experts tested the photos for signs of manipulation. Pixel mapping found none. Lighting and shadows matched natural conditions. In short, no evidence of fakery. Analysts then measured scale, comparing shoreline landmarks. The shape appeared several meters long, far larger than any native fish. Ripple analysis suggested it was moving with purpose, not drifting aimlessly like debris. Marine biologists proposed natural explanations. Perhaps a seal, perhaps a stray sturgeon. But seals are rarely found in Loch Ness, and no sturgeon populations are known there. Cryptozoologists, meanwhile, pointed out how the images aligned with eyewitness descriptions spanning nearly a century. Image enhancement added more mystery. Zoomed-in textures looked unlike driftwood, fish, or wave patterns. Some experts called the results unnerving and impossible to classify. Terrifying details. The closer the photographs were examined, the more disturbing they became. At first glance, the images showed nothing more than a dark form rising above the calm surface of Loch Ness. But when enlarged, the details emerged with unsettling clarity. The surface of the shape looked slick and unnaturally smooth, reflecting light like wet rubber rather than fish scales or drifting vegetation. Its outline was not random or distorted. It appeared symmetrical, with a ridge-like form at the front that seemed to suggest structure, perhaps even anatomy. Beneath the visible disturbance, faint shadows hinted at something far larger trailing beneath the waterline, as though the visible portion was only a fragment of a much greater body. For believers, these were chilling confirmations of what decades of testimony had always claimed. Nessie was real, vast, and hiding in plain sight. For skeptics, the fear came from a different source, the reminder of how easily human perception can be fooled by patterns, reflections, and our own imagination. Still, one fact could not be dismissed. These were the sharpest, clearest images ever captured of Loch Ness. Proof or illusion? Had this man finally delivered the proof generations had searched for? Believers argued yes, noting how closely the details matched reports spanning nearly a century. Skeptics countered that the authenticity of a photograph does not equal the authenticity of a monster. Loch Ness Center GM Nagina Ishak urged caution, noting ongoing research collaborations. Yet whatever the truth, the photographs reawakened global fascination. Tourism boomed, research efforts intensified, and once again, the world turned its eyes to Scotland's most enigmatic waters, wondering what truly stirs beneath them. The mystery lives on. In the end, the man behind the lens never claimed certainty. He only recorded what he saw. The rest is up to interpretation, belief, and imagination. Perhaps that is why the Loch Ness Monster endures. Even with the clearest images in history, the answers remain just out of reach. So what do you think? Did this man capture the most compelling proof of the Loch Ness Monster ever recorded, or is it simply the most convincing illusion yet? One thing is certain, the Loch is not done with us. Somewhere beneath its vast black waters, secrets still wait. Do you believe Nessie is real? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, the mystery continues.